Boko Haram will be a child's play if you do anyhow, Asari Dokubo warns Rivers governor. The governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, has been warned by former militant leader Asari Dokubo to stay clear of his business. This is coming days after Dokubo was spotted in a video addressing a private army which he claimed works for President Bola Tinubu. Dokubo in the latest viral video stated that Governor Fubara would face serious issues than Boko Haram if he doesn't stay clear of his business. The ex-militant leader also claimed that the governorship election that brought Fubara in was rigged. Dokubo, while reacting to reports that Rivers State governor has given the military a marching order to clamp down on his private army, said, "If younger they sleep, trouble go wake him, he go collect. If you do anyhow, you say anyhow, Boko Haram will be a child's play." Because we don't look for anybody's trouble, we are on our own, we even help. He's saying we shouldn't help. He's talking about they rigged the election to put him somewhere. Yeah. Under the Constitution of Nigeria, equal to arm him. He's not anybody. He's just an ordinary citizen like Dr. Asari. I just don't understand. I think what we're going to see is that under Tinubu's administration, it just gives audacity to a lot of people who should not deserve it. It's the same thing. When Adamu Gaba was chatting up and down. And that's because Buhari's administration enabled him to talk anyhow. But anyways, I think that for Asari Dokubo, I think things are basically getting out of hand. And I think, he should be the one the government should sort of clamp on with the same urgency and aggressiveness they do with IPOB, because with this military group that he claims works for Tinubu, the things he said, now he's showing aggression and he's threatening to do worse than a well-known terrorist group. Isn't that a problem? He's basically proud to say that he can cause mayhem and more problems than the major terrorist group in Nigeria. He's giving an insight to his capacity, right? But if you're working for Tinubu, it does not mean that you can also go and destroy another of a state in the country because you have beef with the governor. And this is the problem, because these people just see their opponents or their colleagues. I'm not colleagues, but Dr. Asari basically sees. Let's look at even more comments in the comment section. The election of Governor Fubara in Rivers State was rigged, but Tinubu's election wasn't rigged, right? Senseless, mischievous submission. Tinubu and Agbero are 5 and 6. Very, very interesting. You know what is actually interesting? Another comment says, gradually the truth of unknown gunmen will be revealed. When IPOB denied knowing them, nobody believed. And that is absolutely true, because for someone to create a private army, I don't even know if that is allowed, if that is legal, first of all. And I think more than just, the governor of Rivers State reacting, the essence of this is basically Asari Dokubo's behavior. And it just shows that we have a lot of dangerous people in our political game, whereby as Nigerians, we should also not underestimate just because again, Asari Dokubo, let's be honest, is a meme, right? He's somebody who speaks a lot, put himself out there, he makes jokes, he will trend, he can go viral. I think that's the only profitable skill that he has. He can go viral. So in this case, yes, he's talking, he gets charmed up, he presents himself, he's basically a character. But now, this whole private army nonsense, and to think that the government isn't as urgent to curb it or question it, is even more of a red flag, right? And so, in my books, right, and in Nigerians' books, if they're attentive and not distracted, this man should literally be having strikes, red flag upon red flag, because He said quite derogatory things about the Igbos, saying, he would sell them, that his father sold them, and he would still sell them if not for the British that has intervened. And I'm like, excuse me, it's such a bad mindset. And if anything, that should also prove to you Nigerians that those who are in politics, those who are in office, it is not a coincidence. They have come from families that enslaved your families. That's what it is. It's not even okay, fine, the British came. Yes, that was not justifiable. But it also, a lot of instances, you had people selling their own. And Asari Dokubo proved that is true because he said his father did, and possibly his grandfather. Right? So this is a problem, and this is where he should be taken very seriously. And now threatening to cause mayhem to the extent of a terrorist group, he's calling his group right now a private army. But then when would it turn into a terrorist group? Because a private army is beautifying what the terrorist group was at first, or could be at first. Because why do you have a private army when your government has an army? Did they ask you? Right? You have people who have vigilante groups, security networks, but you choose to call yours a private army. Isn't that a red flag in itself? Well, put what you think about it in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.